इतना सा फर्क है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Business Opportunity Over Chai webinar series. Franchise India is the first company to introduce and develop franchise market in India. We completely focus on franchise ecosystem. It's been 21 years. We have served more than 4,000 brands across all sectors, covering different continents. And we have helped thousands of investors in getting the right brand from us. We welcome each one of you to 187th edition of this series. We welcome management team of Franchise India, Mr. Gaurav Maria, along with our second panel member, Ms. Sonia Chaudhary. The brand which we are presenting today is Healthy Rabbit, the brand which caters to healthcare vertical. Healthy Rabbit is a digitally powered service provider. They are already enjoy the legacy of 35 years in health sector. It's a well-established brand with well-established and experienced team. They have presence in 200 plus hospitals and they operate with 250 plus diagnosis center. And we welcome and invite Mr. Rajiv Chirania, who is the founder, Mr. Chatterjee, who is GM operations, and Rajat Arora, who is a co-founder. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us today. But before we formally invite you and you brief about and give understanding about your brand, we would like to play a small, beautiful video on your brand.
You can now search for hospital according to your medical requirement. You can choose or search by your blood group or select the nearest blood bank. Select the type of ambulance and update your location for the nearest ambulance service. Choose your nearest diagnostic centers, making trade of medical equipments easy. You can choose nearest dental care service in just a click. Book an appointment with Ayurvedic doctor near you. A single click can bring you hospital-like care at home. You can easily select the best yoga center near you. Choosing the best health club near your house is so easy. Choose the best physiotherapist near you. Monitor and maintain your diet. Select the homeopathy doctors near you. Get in-time eye care services. Your 24/7 emergency service is right here. With the help of our SOS service, a notification reaches to your 3 personal contacts, nearest hospital, ambulance, and Healthy Rabbit emergency war room. So download the Healthy Rabbit app now.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj, for playing the video. Now I formally invite Mr. Rajiv Chirania to give us the brief about the brand. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you, Archana, for having us here on this platform. I'm thankful to you and your team to have us introduced in such a nice manner. Thank you so much. Well, very good afternoon to all the viewers at this point in time. We're reporting from Dehradun, a very cold city at this point in time. Yes, I would not like to waste much of your time. This is my co-founder Rajat for Healthy Rabbit. I'm introducing Mr. Kanat Chatterjee, who is the general manager. Without wasting any further time, I would like to take you all to a presentation on the product that we've devised. It has been a long journey for arriving at this juncture. We've been working very hard for the past few years, and now we understand that the need has, matured in the market. Right time to hit the market. I'm sure this is going to be very exciting. Please listen to Kanav Chatterjee. He will take you through the entire presentation. Archana, with your permission, I'm handing over the podium to Mr. Kanav Chatterjee.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining in. Over to you, Mr. Chatterjee. We are ready for your presentation. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I welcome you all to this session. Just give me a moment. I'll be sharing the screen for the presentation. Well, before starting the presentation, I would like to thank Franchiseindia for providing us with this platform. We are really excited about this particular product and hope to hit all India very shortly with the help of Franchiseindia. Thank you, Mr. Gaurav. Thank you, Sonia. Well, gentlemen, let's move on to the this presentation directly. So first, as Archana had already introduced, that Healthy Rabbit is the first digitally empowered, integrated 360-degree healthcare system that we are launching in India. We have an overall experience of 35 plus years in the healthcare industry and have been operating in the area of healthcare services in terms of pharmacies, pharmaceuticals, medicines, healthcare education, as well as professional experience in the field of diagnostics and clinical pathology segment. So we have the adequate experience and the expertise to handle this kind of a product. Having said that, as on date, we have more than 200 hospitals that are already empaneled with us, about 83,000 plus doctors and 250 plus diagnostic centers who are already working with us. The services that presently we have incorporated is a 24/7 emergency broadcasting system, which is a unique and first of its kind in India, which I'll be talking in detail with you as we go through the presentation. We also have the facilities for ambulance, pathology, physiotherapy, hospitals, dental care, diagnostics, Ayurvedic, blood bank, yoga, healthcare, homeopathy, dietitian, doctors, ophthalmic. And as I say this, we are constantly working on upgradation, and we will keep adding to our suite of healthcare services as we move ahead with this. So what is Healthy Rabbit? Healthy Rabbit is basically a digitally powered system connecting healthcare providers with healthcare seekers. It's a low investment model. It has attractive commissions and earning potential. It has an incredible ROI, friends, and it is an absolutely comprehensive one-stop system that is available. So how does it work? Before that, coming to an overview of it, Healthy Rabbit is a venture of Infinite E Solutions LLP, our parent company, and is a highly advanced healthcare management system that instantaneously connects the healthcare seekers across India to various healthcare providers, such as hospitals, labs, clinics, doctors, pharmacies, etc., through its mobile app. We have deeply studied, analyzed the existing medical system and the general practices, and we realized that for individual doctors and other healthcare services provider, a product of this kind is absolutely the need of the market. We therefore concentrate our efforts to create an integrated platform that allows individuals to store and access their medical data at all time, and that includes your prescriptions, diagnostic reports, and medical history online. Instantaneously connects an individual with the service that is needed by the particular user or individual. And in that effort, we have created a 360-degree healthcare services platform where it's a one-stop shop for any and every of the healthcare services that may be needed by an individual during the course of his lifetime. Through our app, we are also helping the doctors and the smaller clinics to manage all their tasks electronically and more efficiently, thereby reducing the time wastage that generally happens with visiting a doctor or taking a treatment. And the most important, the USP of our product is the first of its kind emergency broadcast system, which can be activated real time during an emergency and lead to saving lives. So when we launched this platform, what was the idea behind launching Healthy Rabbits? We actually studied the shortcomings of the present day healthcare system, and our research and findings led us to the following pointers. First is the high cost of treatment in India. The second one is the absence of details of past ailments, unavailability of past medical records, poor maintenance of records, wastage of time in emergencies, repetitive tests for the same information, difficulty in gaining opinion from remote doctors, as well as lack of availability of a single digital platform wherein all the services can be, any services that is needed can be applied for, like a one-stop shop. So that was the reason we moved out. We thought of creating going for a platform which provides all the services at one go, and thereby the initiation of this particular Healthy Rabbit. So before we move on further, let's see what are the services that we have been providing. Mr. Dheeraj, if I may request you to please play the first video.
Here's how you can download the Healthy Rabbit app. Click onto your Play Store. Search Healthy Rabbit. You will find 4 apps designed with special features, including for franchise, doctor, partner, and user. And install. Hey, you have installed the Healthy Rabbit app successfully. For registration, write your name, contact number, email address, password, and register. You will find the dashboard on the left corner of your screen. You can list your 3 personal contact details in case of any emergency. Save your medical history by filling up your current medication details. You can also add your personal details such as name, blood group, address, etc. Update your details to monitor your health parameter. If you have any ongoing vaccination, you can mention them in the vaccination chart. You can book appointment with doctor or contact them in case of any emergency. So download the Healthy Rabbit app now.
So thank you, Dheeraj. So once this shortcomings was drawn upon, we actually, with Healthy Rabbit, the logo is assured, insured, and secured. Friends, do you really think today when we go for a medical treatment, we have some illness and we actually require a medical intervention, do we really feel assured that I will get the proper treatment in a timely manner and in the most cost-effective way? Do you really feel that you are secured, that all your concerns, all your need would be taken care of in an adequate manner? And do you really feel that you are insured enough to cover that eventuality? Well, I think we all have that answer. And in order to cater to that, we have come out with this platform where we give you the assurance or the confidence of feeling assured, feeling insured, and feeling secured. And through our initiative, we are engineering a creation of a digitally empowered healthcare system wherein we are able to arrange and provide for services that are optimal, cost effective, and efficient to you. The next question that comes over here is, do we really feel that the hour has come, or is the product needed in the market? Today, when we talk about a product that is needed in the market, or today when we talk about a medical need, we actually see that I have a need and then go out and support. I search for support. That is the conventional way, and that is still the way in which the healthcare industry in India works today. But then, can we not do something wherein I just inform or flag off that I have a need, and the support systems that are around, they themselves find me out. The support finds out the need and provides the support to the needy at that particular point in time. This is what is called proactive support, and we are actually looking for that proactive support. And that is where we are trying to reverse this current trend. And as I say this, my first question to this was, are we ready? My friends, in the last 2 years, we have moved from 2G to 5G. India has moved from 2G to 5G networking services. In the rural areas of India, they have moved from normal Symbian phones to smartphones. Education has moved to digital. Banking has moved completely digital. So yes, this is absolutely the right time for healthcare also to move digital. We understand you also know that there are a few other digital platforms also that are available in India. But then these digital platforms are providing the services in bits and pieces. There isn't any digital service today in India that provides a digitally empowered 360 degrees integrated healthcare services platform. Healthy Rabbit is the platform. Healthy Rabbit is a one-stop shop for all your medical needs, be it a normal medical need, be it a medical emergency, or whatever it is. Today, we know that we can avail a lot of services, but we don't know where to go. For example, let's talk about an emergency and you can afford it and you want to avail an air ambulance to airlift a person, one of your relatives, from a particular point A to point B. But you don't know where to approach for an air ambulance. Come on board with Healthy Rabbit and the air ambulance will be available to you at the click of a button. Isn't this wonderful? Anything and everything about health services you want to know or information you want to gather, you have a one-stop shop that is Healthy Rabbit. People say that, well, we can find everything from Google, but Google doesn't help you conclude. Google confuses you. You ask for particular services or the effects or impact of a particular service, and Google might provide you with 10 positives and 15 negatives, and you don't know what to conclude of that. We, as a company, as a platform, as a motto, we don't confuse you. We provide you with solutions. We provide you with appropriate information so that you can avail the services correctly. We had done a test marketing some time back, and we had actually selected 3 places. One is a metropolitan city, one is a semi-urban city, and one is a rural location. And we did the test marketing for this product, and the response was absolutely mind-blowing. The response convinced us that the time for this product has come. And this test marketing we had done in the pre-COVID scenario. And post this COVID pandemic, you all realize that today the time has ripened further. And I don't think there is any need for delaying this product or bringing this product into the market. Today, in the rural population, 40% of the patients who seek healthcare services ultimately move to the urban or the big towns to avail the services. They come from remote locations. They are not aware of the systems. They don't know where to go. They just land up in the big cities in the hope of treatment, and they are exploited over there. They waste a lot of time. With Healthy Rabbit, even a person from a rural India can log in, obtain the entire information from our website, book the hospital services, then move to the urban towns, go to those places directly, take the services without wasting the time, and what more, get it at a discounted price because the service has been booked through our platform. And over and on top of that, they also get an incentive, and that is a cashback on the commissions that the brand earns, which the user can use when they avail of the services at a later date. And with these things in mind, we have created the vision to empower individuals with to avail quality healthcare services in the most affordable, digital, and timely manner, thereby ensuring our contribution towards digital India and disease-free India. And what is our mission? Well, I'll read it through. The mission is to allow registered users to store and access all the relevant details with us and use our advanced portal and the healthcare management system to create a vast network of service providers such as hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, laboratories, clinics, and doctors to empower and to offer quality service at an affordable and digital manner. In today's age, a digital address drives business more than the physical address. However, not every healthcare service provider has set it up. A digital platform like ours is a logical solution to the industry and will hence ensure quick and easy acceptability amongst the new generation. This management team This management team, as has already been introduced to you, Mr. Rajiv Shirania, he is the founder of the Healthy Rabbit. Mr. Rajat Arora, he is the co-founder. I am Kanat Chatterjee, the GM operations. Now, coming to the emergency alert system. At this point in time, may I request that if you can play the second video again once more. Dheeraj, I would request if you can just forward the video and just go to that alarm section towards the end of the video. About last 20 seconds should be it. Yeah, just go back a bit. Well, yeah.
Right here. With the help of our SOS service, a notification reaches to your 3 personal contacts, nearest hospital, ambulance, and Healthy Rabbit emergency war room. So download the Healthy Rabbit app now.
Thank you, Dheeraj. So this emergency, a bit more in detail about the emergency broadcasting system. This emergency broadcasting system from Healthy Rabbit is the first of its kind in the industry in India. And what exactly it is? Any of the users who is registered with Healthy Rabbit has access to this emergency broadcasting system. And in this emergency broadcasting system, as and when you are in a situation of emergency, you can just click on our SOS button. And if the situation is such that your phone is in a locked position and you are not able to open it in case of road accidents and all, alternatively, you can just press the on off button, side button 5 times, and the emergency alert system will get activated. When the alarm gets activated, the nearest hospitals, 3 nearest hospitals, 3 nearest ambulance service providers, your 3 emergency contacts, and the Healthy Rabbit war room all get the notification, and the alarm goes out. It starts buzzing. So immediately the entire system gets into activity. The emergency war room contacts the hospitals and the ambulances who have accepted the alarm, and we ensure that the ambulance reaches the person who is in need immediately, and the person is taken to the hospital. In the meantime, our backend, the system alerts the doctor or the hospital about the person's medical history, including his blood group, any chronic diseases that he may have, or whatever is relevant, so that time is not wasted. As we say, the golden 90 minutes is very important in saving and critical in saving lives of people. We ensure that the person gets treatment within 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the location of the hospital. And this actually saves the patient. So this is our emergency broadcasting system. And as I keep on saying and harping of it, you don't have another system like this available in India as on date. So this actually is an absolutely interesting feature that we have in his app, a USP that itself would bring a lot of users on board and make them use this application. This we have already spoken about, so I'm not going through this again. So what are the services and features? We have the electronic health record management, health profile management, health related data management, vaccination tracking management, disease specific tips and advices, insurance management, cost saving and reduced waiting services, home nursing and home care services. If you want to take home care services or home nursing services because you don't want to stay at a hospital, just let us know, and we make all the necessary arrangements to ensure that you get an hospital-like care and nursing at your home. We also have healthcare services, search and appointment booking, online consultation, emergency broadcast, as I have already said. And we also are now we are also looking at attaching more healthcare services to our suite of services, which would only add value to our applications, to the users, to the vendors, to the franchisee, and whoever is associated with Healthy Rabbit app. Yes, we are a company. As a company, we are not very old. We just started in 2000. This company was founded in 2019, and we are already registered with MSME and Startup India. Our registered and head office is in Dehradun, and we also have an office in Gurugram and also a global office at Singapore. So yes, we are poised to take the leap and to launch wholeheartedly and all out across India and then going global, and looking forward to our franchises joining hands with us so that we can partner with them and move ahead. Services, all of these services we have already mentioned over in the discussion that we have had, or the presentation that I've said. Further, you can download our app to actually get a feel of the services and how we are providing all of those. Future plans. Okay, as I have been saying that we have these services that I've just talked about. Apart from that, we obviously, being an integrated 360-degree healthcare digital platform, we will keep adding more of the healthcare services for our users to our suite of services which are there at present. This apart, for our franchisees and for our area franchisees, we are in the process of creating tie-ups with various medical, disposables, and consumables manufacturing companies to enable direct supply to the medical institution and healthcare institutions through our franchises at a considerably competitive rates. We are also in consultation and discussion with the various insurance companies for providing insurance services to our consumers and customers, people who are associated. And this service also we plan to provide through our network of franchises. We are also, as I told you, we are also creating infrastructure that provides home intensive care unit services to our consumers, whoever is willing to avail those services through our franchises. And these initiatives, when on board, will really boost the earning potential of our franchises and go a long way in creating a healthy relationship of trust and business for a longer period of time. So yes, we have something on the platter, and we are adding more to it, which will be of added interest and added value. So how is the market showing up for India? As far as health tech market is concerned, by 2025, we are looking at a market of 157,500 crores with a CAGR projected growth rate of 27%. And this is about the health tech market. And if we are talking about the digital healthcare market in crores, it is 3,783,000 crores and a growth rate of 29% by the year 2025. So friends, you can actually understand the kind of potential, the business potential, the earning potential that this market and this industry brings to us. And I think we are really poised to take real advantage of this particular market forecast and reach greater heights in the very near future. Brand support. What are the support that the brand will be providing? We will be providing marketing support at the central level, marketing and branding support at the central level. We will also be providing our franchises and area franchises with operational support through our state level representatives who would be assigned at the states. And we as a brand take ownership of managing and upgrading the technology platforms to ensure that the customer experience is absolutely seamless, and the customers and our users should be delighted to use our product and our platform. To the franchisee profile that we are looking for, yes, as you know, we will be connecting at a grassroots level with all kinds of healthcare service vendors, including doctors, hospitals, diagnostic centers, pathology labs, and all those that I have mentioned earlier. So we need someone who has links with local hospitals and labs, someone who is ready to develop the contact with local hospitals and labs, somebody who has the ability to reach out to qualified doctors, healthcare practitioners looking for enrollment, and also to add to it, individuals who already have an established social network or are great at creating networking, great at networking skills and ability to create quick social network. So yeah, so these are the kind of people that we are looking for, and I do believe we have a lot of such people out there in the audience also who would be eager to explore this potential further. Finally, the most important slide for us who are attending this webinar, what are the financials overview? So for an area franchisee, okay, before I talk about an area franchisee and an unit franchisee, I would like to say the area franchisee can be termed as a lead franchisee. Under the model is first at the top of the tiers of the pyramid is the brand. Below the brand comes the area franchisees, and below the area franchises would come the unit franchisee. So area franchise is basically looking after a big area, would be looking after or would be in charge of a big area. So we have basically classified that into three categories of cities: tier A, tier B, or rather tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. For a tier 1 city, the setup cost would be 51,000, and setup cost remains same across all the three tiers. The franchisee fee differs. For tier 1, it is 10 lakhs. For tier 2, it is 7.5 lakhs, and for tier 3, it is 5 lakhs. Recurring commission by the brand for each and every transaction that is happening through our healthcare platform. The brand will be getting a commission from the service provider or the user from the service provider, and that can be anything between 5% to 10% of the total transaction value. So out of the transactional commission that is earned by the brand, 5% of each and every transaction that happens within the area franchisee's area of operation will be the area franchisee's share. And this remains same for all tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 cities. Average payback, as we have calculated basis on the average transaction value. For tier A, it would be about 1 year and 5 months. Tier 2, it will be 1 year and 6 months. And tier 3, it will be around 1 year and 7 months. Now coming, number of sub-franchisee or unit franchisee that an area franchisee would be handling. Well, in tier 1 cities, the area franchisee will have to create one own franchisee, plus he will have 24 other, he would be having a maximum of 24 other sub-franchisee or unit franchisee. So in a tier 1 city, one area franchisee will be controlling 25 unit franchisee. Similarly, for tier 2 and tier 3, it would be 15 and 15. And the agreement term would be 3 years. There are furthermore details which we can discuss with anybody who is interested during our one-to-one discussion. And for unit franchisee, again for tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, the setup cost is same for tier 1 and tier 2, that is 1.51 lakhs, and for tier 3, it is 1.1 lakh. The area franchisee fee, the unit franchisee fee will be for tier 1, it is 1 lakh, for tier 2, it is 1 lakh, and for tier 3, it is 0.5 lakh. Recurring transaction commission will be 20% of the commission of each transaction, transactional commission that is, that the brand gets. Average payback would be around 10 months for tier 1, tier 2, it is 1 year, and tier 3, it is 1 year. And again, agreement term would be 3 years for each. So apart from this, as I said earlier, the franchisees will also get an opportunity to earn commission by selling insurance and margins on the sales of consumable products to the vendors and the labs. So that was the presentation. Now we would be moving into the question and answer sessions. So I would be requesting the questions from the audience.
So thank you so much,
take it on.
Mr. Kannan, and for this presentation, very comprehensive. And I will also request all our audience who are here, you can come up with any questions that you have, both on the business model and the locations perhaps you want to enter. And if you have any relevant profiles, as we have discussed in the presentation, you may also put that across. And maybe to start off with, Mr. Kannan, I'll maybe put my own perspective and start taking up some questions and alongside from the audience. And overall, we feel that e-health has now, as industry, come in the mainstream of healthcare, and especially a country like India, where we already have a deficit in terms of the patient and the doctor ratio. And most hospital practices which are currently running, they're running on multiple incompatible systems, which also makes digitization very, very critical and important in these times. And the most important part, as far as e-health sector is concerned, is it is not delivering a product; it is delivering an entire experience to a consumer. And I'll take maybe one, while we did discuss the overall market as far as the e-health industry is concerned, I wanted to perhaps maybe dig your mind, or pick your mind on, because you come with overall 35 years of experience and you have understood how the industry overall has evolved in these many years. So how big, I would say, from the demand point of view, is the opportunity as we speak? And I'm sure, because it is e-health, it has to do with the internet population and maybe the digital use case for Indian consumer outpatient care on one side, and on the other side, it also should take into consideration the supply point of view, which means how big is this market, which can be aggregated in terms of doctors, pharmacy, diagnostic, and other healthcare service providers. I think what we talked about are 12 odd services at this point in time, and then we have more future services which will be integrated. So between these two, how big do you think is the addressable ready market at this point in time, and how many people do you think are actually willing to try e-health as a service? And on the supply side, or the from the service provider side, how do you think, how big is that, and how much of that has already been aggregated as a percentage, and how much of this has not been aggregated in terms of people or platforms, or I would say from the service provider perspective, how many of these service providers are still not on any of these platforms? And where do we see an opportunity out of that? We see an opportunity where people are not currently on these platform, and there's an opportunity to bring them, or you feel there's a differentiated edge as a company that we bring in, and that's what would help maybe a company like yours penetrate in locations or market where maybe the current people on certain platforms will be able to convert into a new platform, or they would want to use that platform maybe as an additional platform to reach out to the consumers or the patients.
Okay, Sonia, very valid question, and in fact, a very apt question also at this point in time. First of all, regarding to the part of the question that you had said, how much of this market is ready as of now? Okay, to that, my answer or our answer is, based on our studies, we have seen that, yeah, there are a few digital platforms in the healthcare sector, but they are basically, they are attending to maybe one or two particular services. Okay, and see, I'll take the example of those healthcare platforms who basically supply doorstep supply of medicines. Okay, there are 3 or 4 such platforms, and today, over the period of last 1 year, we have seen an exponential rise. I'm not even talking about COVID. Even before COVID also, 1 year before, prior to the COVID also, we had seen an exponential rise in the use of such platforms for supply of medicines, and COVID has increased that. But then that's only for supply of medicine. Similarly, there are other platforms, a few competitors, I won't say competitors, some platforms which only have created an aggregation for the doctors, for teleconsultation, for giving, consulting, or some into the diagnostic side, and all are growing. And post-COVID scenario, they are growing at a very fast rate because the number of people who have onboarded onto their platforms and they have taken services have increased exponentially. Having said that, we as a platform, we are an integrated platform where we have all the required services on the same platform. So our expectation is all those people who are currently using a digital platform, healthcare platform, and that as on that isn't a lot. That's something around 18 to 20% of the total population I'm talking about that are using those platforms in bits and pieces. Obviously, they would come on board. And apart from that, you have a platform like this, and with pandemic establishing that digital needs, okay, is absolutely necessary for us to keep ourselves safe. More and more people are looking for this. And it's about people trying to use it. Once somebody comes on the platform and they use a service, they get the kind of quality of, they understand the quality of service that we are providing. And we believe we can actually, at least looking forward to, we can, rope in around, we can reach a target of around 35 to 40% in the next 3 years time. People, users who would be on our platform. And in terms of size of the market, well, CAGR is themselves projecting a digital healthcare market of 1,700,000 crores by 2025. Even if you are looking at a 20 to 22%, that is a huge market for us. And in terms of my potential, in terms of the franchises who would be coming on board for this, as per the plan, the number of franchises we have, the potential of doing business or earning their return on investment is absolutely mind-blowing. That is what we have. We can always discuss those things in detail when we talk, but then potential wise of the product, potential need of the product also on the market, the number of people who are still not hooked onto this, and potential consumers are there. And as finally to the last part, though there are few users who are already on other digital platforms, there is no reason why they would not want to come onto our platform also, because we are not providing any individual service. It's a complete 360-degree healthcare platform. Any medical service that is required is available on our platform.
Okay. I'll maybe take a little bit on the business model, because I'm seeing a lot of questions which are coming with respect to the business model. And maybe to start off with, we talked about two different formats here, one for an area franchisee and the other is a unit franchise structure. How do we define an area and a unit? Are we taking into consideration a certain population for an area?
Yeah.
First of all, how is the area divided? One. And second, when we talk about a unit franchisee also, I think we saw some numbers of certain number of units which would come under a master, and we saw 24 in tier 2 and likewise in other.
Yeah.
So how is that defined, and how big is the opportunity that we are seeing, on what population alone cannot be a metrics, because we also have to take into consideration the catchment.
Sonia, your voice faded off in between. Your voice faded off in between, so I couldn't hear the question properly.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, maybe I'll repeat that. Between a master franchise and a unit franchise model, we've talked about these two models. One, we've taken certain numbers for a unit franchisee, 24 for sub-franchisee and certain numbers for tier 1, 2, and 3. How has that been devised? What population have we taken into consideration for that? And second, what kind of radius are we giving to unit franchisee?
See, I'll tell you. For this area franchisee thing, or for the unit franchisee thing, it's not about radius. It's not about a distance from the center or the point of location. It's a population-based calculation that we have come out with. So for a unit franchisee will be handling a minimum of 250,000. That's the population. Unit franchisee will be handling a population of 250,000. Okay, so more than 250,000 population, we will go for a second unit franchisee. So a unit franchisee, as I say this, a unit franchisee will be having a minimum of 250,000 population strength, on where he or the unit franchisee will be selling its services or doing the acquisition in that area. Similarly, for a tier 1 city, this remains constant, be it a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. the population is 250,000 for unit franchises.
Mhm.
But for area franchisee in a tier 1 city, okay, because a unit franchise area franchisee will be having a minimum of 25 area franchises, unit franchises under his belt.
All right.
And
Now, when
in a
we
tier
talk-
2 and tier 3 city, an area franchisee, yeah, please.
Yeah, go ahead. I was about to ask tier 2 and 3. How will that work?
For 2 and 3, area franchisee will be having a minimum of 15 area franchises under 15 unit franchises under his belt. And the reason why this difference is there is because the area in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, the concentration of vendors and the concentration of the population also will be lower. So if more franchises is given, then the geographical area becomes too big for the area franchisee to manage it efficiently. That's the reason for
Now,
tier 2 and tier 3, we are having 15 unit franchises under an area franchisee.
right. Now, coming on to the business model, I like to maybe pick up 2, 3 questions together. First and foremost, we've talked about a setup cost of about 51 odd thousand, which is standard dollar cross. And first, what does this cost include? What are the elements here? And second, I would also like you to maybe talk a little bit on the operating expenses. So while the setup cost and the initial investment, including the franchise fee for a unit, is about under 2 lakh of investment. So what all is the breakup of that apart from the franchise fees? And second is the kind of expenses one would entail in the running of the center, including the manpower, rental, and other activities, maybe marketing he needs to reach out. So what all expenses are included? And one on the capex and the other on the opex is my initial question on the business model.
So for this 51,000 setup cost, this basically includes the setup of the office, the infrastructure, setting up the interior decor of the office, arranging for the networking services that is required for it, a printer, a computer, and all these things. So so this is for the office thing that this cost would be required, and we have worked this at a minimum. Okay, this is a 51,000 is a very basic amount that is required to set up an office, and that apart, for the operating expenses, or the daily running cost of the cash reserve that they need to keep in over here. I think, will this be a right forum, or we can discuss that with all the individual interested franchises during their one-on-one sessions with that, because that is pretty detailed, and I think this forum would not be a right forum to discuss those things in detail.
So we can do that maybe one-on-one, but broadly we like to understand the breakup. And second, what kind of expenses are there in the day-to-day operations of the outlet, if that can be perhaps discussed upon, So, and I also understand, this would take a little bit of time for somebody to reach certain number of target clients, both I'm saying from the consumer or the patient perspective, and also on the other side from the supply side, which is aggregating. So how long does it take for him to reach a minimum throughput? And typically, if we ask about the commissions also, you mentioned 5% of the entire transaction value comes to you from a master franchisee, and 20% is something which comes to the company from a unit franchisee. So if you can also maybe advise typical, what is the transaction value? How much is that, so, and if it's different across all these 12 services, how much would it vary? And how much should an outlet or a center do on a monthly basis, so at least he's able to do maybe a minimum throughput from his center?
Okay. We had actually, as I mentioned during the presentation, that during our test marketing that we had done across 3 different kind of cities. One is a metro, one is a semi-urban, and one is a rural area. Over there, we had a very good response in terms of people joining us and then taking availing the services. It was a test marketing done, and that was done almost 4.5 years ago. We had done this, and we continued for some time. So in that, we had seen at that point in time, around 2016-17, we had seen that the average transaction value comes to around 1,000 rupees. So when we were doing the calculations for this, we actually went very conservative, and we have taken a transactional value of 600 rupees for tier 1 cities, individual transactions, 600 rupees, and around 450 rupees for tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So having said that, for there also, in that also, we as a brand, when we tie up with the vendors or the service providers or the doctors, we are basically looking at a brand commission of 5 to 10%. And out of that, from that 5 to 10% that the brand gets, brand is sharing with the franchisee 20% for the user side and 20% from the vendor side. When I say this, I want to explain this to you over here.
Sure.
A franchisee will be onboarding users also on the platform, and vendors also on the platform. So when a user is availing a particular service from a hospital through our app, now if it's a single franchisee, unit franchisee, who has onboarded the user also, and who has also onboarded the vendor, okay, that is a possibility. In that case, the the unit franchisee will be getting 20% of the brand commission from the user side and 20% of the brand commission from the vendor side. But if the user has been onboarded by vendor unit franchisee A, and the vendor has been onboarded by unit franchisee B, and that particular user takes the services, then 20% from the user onboarding side, will be going to that particular vendor. So he gets 20%, and the vendor side franchisee also gets 20%. So its total is 40% is kept aside for them, in 20%, 20%. Either way, however way the IDs are getting mapped basis the onboarding, the unit franchisee commissions will be dispersed, shared over there. And from that 100% of what we get, 40% goes to the unit franchisee, and 5% of that commission goes to the area franchisee. So for any transactions that is happening in the area franchisee's area of operation, for each and every transaction, 5% of the commission will be going to the area franchisee. That would be his recurring earning.
Okay, and ideally, how many
on every transaction. And
so if we talk about,
we have taken into account 3 transactions. See, basis the population, we have calculated an acquisition rate of 8%, 10%, 10%, 15%, and 20% over 3 years. Out of the population of 250,000, an unit franchisee has, we have taken into consideration an acquisition rate of 10%, 15%, and 20% over 3 years. First year 10%, second year it is 15%, and third year it is 20%. Because as more and more people get onboarded, the word of mouth, the visibility of the brand, the knowledge about the brand increases, and acquisition becomes more over a period of time. With that acquisition percentage, and with an average transaction of 3 transactions per user per year, we have come to this earning, wherein they are able to get into this payback within a period of 1 year, 1 year 5 months, 1 year 6 months, and 1 year 7 months, depending on tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3.
Right. So if we talk about maybe a population, you mentioned about 2.5 lakhs and average 10% in the first year, which would mean about 25,000 odd transactions must happen in year 1.
Yes.
Right? And how, and so in order to reach that 25,000,
no, 25,000 odd acquisitions, onboarding, and 3 transactions per person per year. Over a year, we are expecting a minimum of 3 transactions from a user, which is a bare minimum to take into consideration. So
okay, so which almost translates to about 75 odd transactions should happen in year 1. right? And if we divide that by maybe 12 odd years on an average, maybe starting from the first month to the sixth month, ideally one should be able to reach about 6 to 7,000 average transactions per month, or do you think this should be higher?
No, I think let's be conservative. It's we are also very excited about it, and we also want and know that we will overshoot the targets, but it is always better to overshoot than keeping up a very high benchmark and then falling short of it. So
Okay.
what your
Right.
calculation is correct. Yeah.
Okay. Now, because you mentioned, there's some percentage which goes to him, it's 20%. So the entire payment is made on the platform, or these payments are made to the master franchisee and through him it goes to the unit and to the company. So how this payment
No,
would happen?
the payment is made to the platform. Okay. The payment comes to the brand. And
Okay.
has its backend. From there immediately it gets on a regular basis, the commissions will be calculated and shared with the area franchisee and unit franchisee, and a complete statement of accounts will be shared with them for clarification. And in that case also, if there is any disputes, it's not that we are those kind of a digital platform who just has a one office and a virtual office and you are not able to reach. We are a kind of platform who is having a head office. We have 2 more offices, plus we have state level representatives also who are stationed at particular states. So, and they will be, my state representative will actually be helping in the operational functioning of them. That apart, one more thing that our brand representatives will be doing will be, helping them with maintaining and doing the audits of accounts and transactions over there, both from the app operational as well as financial aspects. So any discrepancy that comes up at any point in time will be attended to by my state representative as a first level. And then if nothing happens, if there is still any doubt, then we at the central level will be there to take care of that.
Okay. Now I'll start picking
And our franchisee apps and our franchisee apps as well as the vendor apps has the functionality of real-time tracking of accounts. So on their dashboard, the moment a transaction happens, immediately after that, their dashboard will show that this amount has been credited to their account. The actual settlement of the monetary amount may happen at maybe on a weekly basis or maybe on a weekly basis. But at any given point of time, my franchises, my unit franchises, and my vendors and everybody would actually know what is the status of the accounts at that point in time.
Okay. Now the two
Complete transparency will be maintained.
Sure. All right. Now, the two main things, these are two main stakeholders, I would say. One is the user who's the patient, and the other is obviously the vendor. How much of that would come from the company, which is you, and how much of that ideally should be a part of the role of the master franchisee and the unit franchisee? Will master franchisee play any role in acquisition of these users and vendors? One. Second, in case of unit franchisee, is the entire responsibility for him to go and bring them on board? And if it is there any kind of assistance, marketing, which even the company does? Maybe a lot of locations where you might want to enter, you would not have your current existence or presence in. So is there a go-to-market strategy which you have, or investment which the company would do to help him acquire the initial database of, both supply and the demand side?
Yes, actually very appropriate question, and good ma'am, you asked this question. As you said, for existing database, for that, yes, we as a company, we will provide the unit franchisees and the master franchisees with the database of the vendors, the healthcare service providers that are available in the town, along with the names for them to go and approach them on the first. Apart from that, does the company has a budget for marketing? Yes, as mentioned in the presentation, we take the ownership of branding and marketing our product at the central level. And that includes various mediums like the audio visual media, the digital marketing, attending various seminars, participation in various trade fairs and all, whatever needs to be done to, create the visibility of the brand. That would be taken care of by us, the brand, and that would be taken care of by us completely. My master franchisee, my unit franchisee, they can do their marketing level. And if there is something big that is happening in that particular town, where they can definitely approach us. We will see the possibility of what is the kind of return or exposure that we get. And if we find something very interesting, we can definitely tie up with them and help them, take it out. We can help them do that marketing over there. Now coming to the roles and responsibilities. The master franchisee or the unit area franchisee's role is to create the network of area franchises. Okay. Again, the reason we are coming over here is that is their responsibility, because we want people who know the local area well, who have a good connectivity in the local area. We from the central level may not have that kind of a networking at a particular place, which a master franchisee who is a local of that area will have. So the master franchisee's responsibility is to create the area franchises and drive the performance of the area franchises. And area franchisee's role is to create the unit franchises and drive the role of the performance of the unit franchises. The unit franchisee's primary role is to onboard users and vendors. For that, apart from their local contacts and local network, we are providing them with leads. We are providing them with centralized marketing and branding and advertisement support. We are providing them with a 24/7 call center support. And we are providing them with the support of our operational support, both for the master unit area franchisee as well as the area franchisee, through our state level representatives who is posted at the state. So this is how the structure has been.
I'll take another question. It is from Ms. Ramya. She's asking, is allopathy in scope as well? As I see Ayurveda, Homeo and labs along with few others. So is
Homeopathy and Ayurveda has been mentioned separately because those are not the regular courses of treatment that generally we take. Allopathy, I haven't mentioned separately. We haven't mentioned separately because allopathy is there by default. Today, you go to a hospital, you go for a surgery, anything, you go generally when say you are visiting a doctor, we generally mean an allopathic doctor. If we are visiting a homeopathy doctor or a Ayurvedic doctor, then we say we are taking a homeopathic treatment, but by default, allopathy is by default. So yes, it is primarily allopathy because that caters to about 95 or 96% of the market, but we are not leaving aside that 4 or 5% also. Homeopathy and Ayurveda is also included on our platform.
I'll take another question from Mr. Seem Tandon. He says, what if, more than one hospital accepts the request, so to say? We talked about the ambulance services and there's emergency number where there is an alarm which goes out to the hospital. So how is that controlled? I'm sure, because it is a tech platform. So how is that controlled that it doesn't go to multiple hospitals?
I'll answer that, Sonia. But before that, can I have the name of the individual who posed this question?
Asim and Ms. Ramya, both of them have asked.
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for asking this question. I was actually expecting this question, and this is a very valid question. Yes, we send the alarms to 3 nearest ambulances, 3 nearest hospitals. The alarms go. But the first one to accept this, that is booked. And the second and the third person, when they click on that to accept it, it will show over there that the request has been already accepted. So that is the way how we control it. So the first responder is, fixed. First responder gets the thing. And for the second and third responder, the moment they go to accept it, they will get a message that the request has already been accepted. Similarly for the hospital also. So it will never happen that 3 hospitals reach that location, start fighting among themselves. It will not happen that.
Right. Something like Ola and Uber, you send the request.
So I hope I have answered the.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very similar to Ola and Uber. When you order a cab, you don't have multiple cabs coming at your doorstep. It is accepted by one. And that's how this is controlled. Great, Mr. Chatterjee, I would request, because there might be some questions that you might want to discuss one-on-one with the prospective investors. Last question which I want to take up is on the rollout. Which are the immediate cities that we want to reach out to? where you see, maybe because you're a tech-enabled company, you have seen the demand in the last many months of your own existence. So which are the immediate cities, both from, I would say, penetration or potential point of view, and also from your own support, which can be rendered to the franchisees?
Yeah, see, Sonia, as far as the support that can be rendered to the franchisee, it's across India. We can render that support anywhere in India. That is not an issue. But as you say, when we talk about a rollout plan, there are two aspects of it. One is, where do we, Healthy Rabbit as a company, want to be visible at the onset during launch? The other question is, in which city are their franchisees ready to accept the thing, to start going ahead with it? Okay, these are two questions that need to be answered, and like which we would want. Yes, we have the plan of launching it in the tier ones. We want to be present in the tier one cities, which mainly means Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, being the metros and the tier metros and the just below metro cities, because for the simple reason that when we launch in these cities as a brand, we get maximum visibility. Point number one. Point number two, maximum number of healthcare service providers, vendors are available over there. So the visibility is very high. Having said that, if I find a franchisee who is eager to take it, for example, say in Indore or in Dehradun or in Bhopal, okay, if I find an eager franchisee who is eager to take it and just nail it right away, would I not be able to, will I say no to him? No, I'll not say no, because infrastructure wise, I am ready to support him also. So yes, I have certain towns where I want to be, as a brand, I want to become visible first, but I will not have any reservations, because my plan is to go all India, and we are ready with our infrastructure to support the franchises across India.
Great.
Yeah.
Helpful, very helpful, Kanan. And before we close, can I request maybe a day that you can give anytime in the next week, where we can bring in some of our prospective franchisees to come on a call or a Zoom call with you, where they can even clarify any questions that they might have overall on the business model, and also the services which are provided by you. And we can decide on the date, or you can inform that to us. And before we finally sign off, maybe a message from you to all the audience which is listening live on Facebook and on the Zoom webinar now. Would you want to give a message, Kanan, before we close? One, and second, any date that you think will be feasible for you to take up the questions or a one-on-one meeting with the investors? If you want to say that now, or if you want to look up
any day during next week, next 1 week is absolutely okay, because we are launching, so we really want to meet the investors. The more the better, talk to them in detail, explain to them in detail the plans, and start go ahead with it. So yeah,
very helpful. I'll take one interesting question, and that was an important question we should have rather asked. It is from Mr. Mohammed Khan. He says, are there any monetary benefits given to the prospective users? If I'm a customer, I want to come on your platform, am I getting some kind of discounts if I go through your platform?
Yeah.
Looking at discounts. So any monetary benefits?
I think this is something which I explained during the course of my discussion, when I was taking the example of a rural user coming to the metro or urban town to take the services. Yes, since we are also impaneling vendors, and the vendors are basically the service providers, our team or my franchisee team that would be negotiating with them and going to a contract, will be signing a contract where we will negotiate a rate which will be, whatever it is, somewhat lower than their regular market rates. And if a user is booking the service through our platform, then they get the rate that has been negotiated with us. So my user is getting that same service, same quality service at a more affordable rate, at a better rate. And apart from that, for using our service, okay, we will be sharing a part of our commission, a percentage of our commission with the user in the form of a cashback. A wallet for the user will be created. and that cashback will be credited to the user's wallet, which the user can utilize or redeem when he's availing the next services over here. So it's a two-way benefit. He gets a discount for availing the services. Apart from that, he also gets a cashback from the brand, which he can use for his next service.
All right.
So that is the incentive that is there for the users. And the biggest incentives and all are okay. But then the biggest incentive is that this is one-stop shop where any healthcare you need, you just need to come to the Healthcare Rabbit platform and just tell us what your need is. And Healthy Rabbit will be there to help the user with that service.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kanan. And before we close, I would say it's very important to devise business models for value creation and sustainable e-health services, which should be able to map all the key supporting activities, value chain relationships, which are very important. And you've kind of integrated both in your current
Yes.
offering and also the future plan of integrating many of the services which currently India does not have. And we have seen that even home ICUs, we are seeing that happening in a lot of hospitals in Australia, which have already started doing that. So best of luck with it. And also I saw somebody asking on the profile of people. While we did cover that, I would still reiterate, we need people who come with relevant experience. It could be direct sales, who have an experience of direct sales. It could be people in any kind of distribution of medical devices, MRs. I think these are typical profile of people, which I feel would be an ideal candidate to suit, because it requires reaching out and aggregating all these service providers on the platform. So happy to have you with us, Kanad. And with this, we'll sign off. And I will request Ashna to kindly take it up and with her message on tomorrow's webinar. And also a thank you to all the people who are listening. Over to you, Ashna.
Sure. So thank you so much, entire team of Healthy Rabbit coming in and presented your model. Thank you so much, Mr. Chatterjee. Our best wishes and congratulations to you. We would like to thank our panel. Thank you so much, Rajiv ji. Thank you so much, Rajat, for joining in today. Sir, last message before we.
Thank you for being there.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, our
Sorry,
panel member.
please go.
Sure. We would like to thank all our dear participants who have joined us today. You can connect with us at our business hotline number. I'll just share that number on my screen. The number is 97176-83838. That's the number where you can reach out to us. Please do give your suggestions, your feedback to us, so that will help us in improving our processes. You can connect with us at our different social handles. Please go to Franchiseindia Facebook page of Franchiseindia Brands Limited. You want to rewatch this particular episode, that's available under video section. You can also connect with management team of Franchiseindia at their respective LinkedIn IDs. And tomorrow it's Sunday, and we are inviting you for a big distribution opportunity. We are bringing a brand from Imperial Blue. It's a best opportunity if you want to start your packed drinking water opportunity. So do not miss this chance. Please join us tomorrow to understand what kind of a business model they are offering into market. Sharp 12 p.m. we will start this particular webinar. We request each one of you to do registration today at the same business hotline number, so that you can get a registration link from our side. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a great day ahead. Keep very good care of your health. Be healthy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in.
Thank you.
Bye, sir. Take care.
Thank you so much, Rajiv and Rajat. Great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.